Southeast Georgia and the Lowcountry. This is WJCL 22 Morning News. See us now.
Waiting on a Supreme Court ruling in a high-profile abortion pill case. The latest from the High Court.
Investigating the president's family. The new allegations in the spotlight this morning involving Hunter Biden.
House Republicans propose a debt ceiling package with some big changes to government spending. I'm Amy Lou in Washington with the areas they want to cut back and spend more.
It is just about 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning, and we are starting it in Forsyth Park. Just gorgeous out there. We want to thank you so much for starting your day right here on WJCL 22. Good morning. I'm Emma Hamilton.
And I'm Frank Sulkowski. You know who else is here? Yes, there he is, the man with the plan. Our forecasting friend, meteorologist Jonathan Myers. And Jonathan, another calm start. It's going to be another beautiful day.
And the plan for today, Frank, will be get outside and enjoy this gorgeous spring weather. More sunshine again today. Perfect weather for us. Unpleasant this morning, starting out low to mid 50s, maybe a jacket as you start the day, but sunshine will take you all the way through the afternoon and also into the early evening. We will quickly warm up, upper 60s by 9, 81 at lunchtime. Most of us 86 for highs today, so it'll be a warm one this afternoon. No clouds out there. We may see a few high clouds later today. You see them across Mississippi and Alabama, but just like the last couple of days, we'll just see a good deal of sunshine. That'll take you all the way through the afternoon. More dry weather tomorrow, but Saturday is a impact weather day, and that is due to maybe some strong thunderstorms that will be moving through in the afternoon. I will detail that for you in less than 10 minutes.
Jonathan, thanks so much. Well, breaking overnight, at least 2 people are dead after tornadoes tore through Oklahoma yesterday. You're looking at the aftermath right here, left behind after at least 4 confirmed tornadoes touched down in that area. And check out this video. This is a funnel cloud that was forming over the city there. Now, watch how the clouds, it kind of swirls there, showing the beginning signs of a tornado. This is video right here of the skies last night after those storms moved through the area.
In other news, right now, the Supreme Court now has 2 more days to rule in an abortion pill case. Yesterday, the High Court extended its stay of a lower court decision until the end of the day Friday, preserving access to the FDA-approved abortion medication for now. With more, here's ABC's Justin Finch.
The Supreme Court giving itself more time to consider the case Wednesday. In a single sentence order, the court announced it's extending its stay of a lower court ruling, giving itself until Friday night to consider an appeals court decision whether mifepristone should remain available without the imposed restrictions, preventing women from accessing the drug after 7 weeks of pregnancy, requiring 3 in-person doctor visits, and making it unavailable by mail.
I think the radical abortion policies of the Biden administration are wrong, but at the end of the day, we're a rule of law nation.
Those developments come after a Texas federal judge's ruling to reverse FDA approval of mifepristone, arguing the agency had not properly considered its health effects. Access to the pill in the future in jeopardy. The FDA commissioner saying today the case could have a wider impact on other drugs.
We are concerned about the potential future impacts of this case.
The White House saying it's preparing for a long legal fight, if necessary, to increase access to women's reproductive rights.
The stakes could not be higher, and we are going to continue to fight.
If the court upholds the Fifth Circuit decision, it would roll back about 7 years of expanded access to mifepristone, including mail delivery, which is what the conservative group of doctors who brought the original suit are advocating for. Justin Finch, ABC News at the Supreme Court.
This morning, there's new allegations that the investigation into President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, is being mishandled. ABC's Lindsay Watts reports on the claims coming forward to Congress.
This morning, an IRS supervisor suggests he has information that the Biden administration could be mishandling the investigation into Hunter Biden's tax affairs. The man's lawyer says his client is seeking whistleblower protections, which would allow him to disclose information about the investigation to Congress.
He wants to do it in a legal, proper fashion. And that's why I've written to both Democrats and Republicans on the key committees asking that they take his testimony.
In a letter to lawmakers, the whistleblower's lawyer writes that his client has been overseeing the ongoing investigation of a high-profile, controversial subject since early 2020, adding his information contradicts sworn testimony to Congress by a senior political appointee and involves failure to mitigate clear conflicts of interest.
He's thought long and hard about it. He's lost sleep over whether to come forward. And, at the end of the day, he's decided that he would feel worse about himself if he did nothing and stayed quiet.
Last October, the Washington Post reported federal authorities had gathered what they believe is sufficient evidence to charge the president's son with tax crimes and making false statements to buy a gun. But the U.S. attorney in Delaware, a Trump appointee, has yet to file charges. And this morning, White House officials aren't commenting on the whistleblower claims. Hunter Biden has denied any wrongdoing. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Governor Ron DeSantis is continuing his Florida Blueprint tour. Yesterday, made a stop in South Carolina. DeSantis hasn't officially declared his candidacy for president. His Florida Blueprint tour has taken him to visit key states like Iowa, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Experts say DeSantis' choice to hold off on formally declaring could actually be helping him.
Governor DeSantis is smart to not declare his candidacy right away, not to rush out and do it, because all sorts of limitations and regulations get imposed on you once you are a formal candidate for the presidency in terms of how you can raise money.
Now, if DeSantis decides to enter the race, he'll face strong competition in the South Carolina primary, including former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and possibly U.S. Senator Tim Scott.
House Republicans are proposing new legislation full of their priorities. Amy Lou is in Washington with what they're hoping to get passed.
Well, there's almost no chance that Republicans will be able to pass their debt ceiling package, using it instead to kickstart negotiations with Democrats in the White House.
America has a $31 trillion debt, and Washington is on the clock.
Tackling the nation's looming debt crisis, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy unveiling the Limit, Save, Grow Act, raising the debt ceiling for another year while imposing a 1% cap on future federal spending for the next decade.
These spending limits are not draconian. They're responsible.
The legislation would bring spending back to 2022 levels, rolling back policies from President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act and student debt relief, loading the bill with priorities to boost oil, gas, and coal production while imposing tougher work requirements for those on government aid. Proposals Democrats will not approve.
They say they're going to default unless I agree to all these wacko notions they have. Default would be worse than totally irresponsible.
House Republicans are pushing for a vote on the bill next week, pressuring Democrats and President Biden to respond before the economy defaults on its debt. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou.
Traffic Track 22 this morning. What a quiet start out there on the roadways. This is a live look. This is in Beaufort. You see a few cars out there on the roads. Not a big problem there on Highway 21. Also, if you're headed southward, maybe toward Hilton Head or Bluffton, looking nice as well with no accidents. Hardyville to downtown Savannah, that southbound commute on I-95, seeing a little less than a 30-minute commute. And you see across Savannah towards Statesboro and Richmond Hill, no accidents at this time. Highway 80 at Bourne Avenue. This is in Polar. A few cars out there this morning making their way probably some folks to work or even to school. No big problems. And to keep up with traffic all through the daytime, WJCL.com/traffic for all the latest updates.